Hey everyone, welcome back to the Poplar Report. We got a lot of topics that we need to talk about, a lot of little things happening out there that are very, very big. We got an IV fluid shortage out there, confirmed now, EpiPens disappearing. We have reasons for those things, as well as Israel has now given the green light for an attack on Iran. We also have continued attacks in the Middle East. We also have the new NATO chief who is making his first priority that country in Eastern Europe. Yes, let's jump into it. Welcome to the Poplar Report. I'm Steve Poplar. I'm an accountant by trade, and I am over in northern Spain right now, walking to improve my health. It is working out well. It just hurts a whole lot. And I get to sleep on beds like this where we get Kevlar pillows on top of covers on the pillows. Anyway, let's jump into these reports here. All right, so the first thing is of the IV fluid shortage. This is confirmed. The main producer of IV fluids in the U.S. is Baxter International. They had a North Cove manufacturing facility in Marion. That's 35 minutes northeast of Asheville. So that's a big deal there. 60% of the IV fluids in the United States used. This is not just rehydration. This is not just saline solution, but this is rehydration bags. This is drug delivery bags. This is for dialysis. This is for all sorts of stuff. So these are specialty IV bags. I don't know all that much about it, but you know, you get your rehydration, which is something that everybody gets, but then they have other IVs for all sorts of different things. 60% in the U.S. are made by this one company in North Carolina, and their factory has been no word on when they're going to be able to reopen that factory. 1.5 million bags per day. We have a serious situation, and with FDA rules, it's very difficult to bring them in from other countries. So hopefully FDA gets on their horse and starts waiving some of the restrictions so that IV bags can come in from Canada, can come in from other countries that are, you know, at least has good quality controls, like Australia. Australia has been having an IV problem themselves. Hopefully that's rectified down there. I haven't heard much about that recently. Some of the places in Europe may be able to provide some of the IV bags temporarily. But how long is it going to take to get the manufacturing facility back up and running? We have literally heard from a whole bunch of medical personnel who are being told, quote, consider alternative therapies. Now, I don't know what an alternative therapy to rehydration through saline IV bags are, but maybe you do. So we have, what does that even mean? We have people who, I mean, I get if you're just putting everybody on IV, even if they don't need it, but the fact is that there's a reason why they put everybody on IV, right? Because it is a way to protect people that you think are stable, sometimes aren't as stable as you thought they were, sometimes, and to get people safe and in a good place, you want to put them on IVs. And of course, this is one of the safest and best ways of delivery of different substances into a person for a lot of different substances. And so this is a big deal. Be aware of that. If you have to go to the hospital, be aware that they may be stingy with the IV bags. And this is probably not a good time to stock up on IV bags yourself. But you know, that's not a terrible thing to have on hand in other times. Hopefully when this situation gets resolved, we can revisit that. But some folks who are a little more medically proficient, like the folks over at Refuge Medical, which is Bear Independent. By the way, if you're looking to get stocked up on medical supplies anyway, knowing that if you buy from Refuge Medical, you are supporting Grindstone Ministries is kind of a win-win. So just tossing that out there. I'll put the link down in the description down below. If you want to shop at the same for quality equipment, quality deals, at the same time as supporting the Grindstone Ministry, that's a great thing to do. That's a win-win-win, right? All right, so we talk about IV bags, but we're also talking about EpiPens. I know a lot of you guys have need to have EpiPens or have loved ones who need to have EpiPens around them, and you need to replace them every so often, right? Because they do expire. Just be aware that lots and lots of EpiPens are being handed out down in Western North Carolina. They're having terrible problems with yellow jackets. They're having lots of people getting stung, having all sorts of people having allergic reactions and stuff like that to that. So they are moving in a lot of EpiPens, which means supplies elsewhere are going to be thinner. So if you need an EpiPen for life endangerment and stuff like that, you need to make sure that you can get your hands on that. Be aware that there is a developing shortage with that because of the heavy use in North Carolina. All right, moving on to some of the more international news here. We have Israel has apparently, the Israeli Security Council has met, and they have apparently agreed on some sort of strike on Iran. We don't know what that strike is. We do know that the United States has deployed more fighter jets to the Middle East for some reason. That may have already been in the works a little bit, but the fact is that we're continuing to pivot more and more away from China and towards the Middle East, which is the exact opposite of the previous presidency. You can just mull that one over and just think through who is owned, right? Anyway, just because Mossad has hours and hours of video footage of certain people in the White House, makes them do whatever they're told to do, doesn't it? And when you have people who have the moral spine of a slug, that is what you get. I mean, how many people in Washington D.C. have blackmail stuff on them, and they just do what they're told to do because they know that it's the end of their career if that stuff gets out. And these foreign intelligence services absolutely have that. Anyway, moving on to this main issue here. Israel is looking to strike at Iran. This is going to blow things up. Like, Iran has tried 2 times now to attack Israel. And while there are some reports out there that the second strike was much more effective, and that the Israeli media and government are covering things up on how bad it was, the simple fact is that Iran is kind of embarrassed that they've tried to attack Israel twice, and first time they basically got a couple missiles through that landed out in fields. One person was hurt, and this time around it looks like a few people were as well, but there weren't the right people. So they're talking about attacking oil facilities in Israel. They're talking about attacking nuclear facilities in Israel. And we're just not seeing the evidence of that. We're not seeing that took place. So when you have Iran getting more and more desperate to not appear weak and just flat out shamed in an honor culture, expect Iran to be more irrational in its responses, right? So if Israel does enough to warrant, in their mind, Iran's reaction, we may see Iran try to do something very different. And as we look at our watches, we see that we're closing in on October 7th. Now, Israel may want to delay until after October 7th so that they don't hand Iran like kind of like on the golden platter, like, okay, we'll do this on October 6th, and so you can do that on October 7th, because that would be a PR win for Iran. Now, Israel may try to do this on October 7th itself, and what does that mean? I don't know. But they're looking at probably attacking oil facilities along the Persian Gulf. That will spike oil prices like you wouldn't believe. If it's severe enough, Iran may shut down the Strait of Hormuz, which will stop United Arab Emirates, will stop all of Bahrain, stop Qatar, stop much of Saudi Arabia's oil exports, Kuwait's oil exports, much of Iraq's oil exports. If Saudi Arabia does shut down the Strait of Hormuz, that will be a major oil crisis across the world. Now, a couple things to see here is that one, so it may be a limited strike on some of the oil facilities of Iran. We'll see as that unfolds, but be aware that this Israeli counterstrike is going to be coming, and it's going to be coming soon. It's been approved, and so it's now a matter of how long it will take them to execute, and if they've chosen any specific dates to avoid or to purposefully do on. We got Israeli holiday coming up. We got this is kind of fraught with when will it happen and what will it be. Apparently only the Israeli Security Council knows at this point. It looks like even the United States White House has been cut out of the decision-making loop because they've been so strongly advocating staying away from the nuclear sites in Iran. Now, would Israel be able to strike those nuclear sites without using nuclear weapons itself? That is a difficult one. That is a difficult one. I mean, look at what it took for them to get at that guy in the bunker in Beirut. They had to drop one bunker buster after the next. Do they have the lift capacity to get into Iran in the first place, let alone get that kind of munitions into Iran to get at some of these nuclear facilities that are underground? Probably not. Now, there are ground incursions, special operations insertions, very high risk things that could happen, but that's all hostile airspace that they're trying to get through, even trying to get through Iraq and then into Iran. There just aren't good options here. Like I said, I'm thinking the most probable and easiest thing that they can probably do is use their submarines or some other naval assets in the Persian Gulf. Now, that would, but bringing an Israeli warship past, or that's on the surface, past the Yemen Houthis is a whole thing right there. But getting their submarines is not that hard to get into the Persian Gulf. They can do that pretty easy. And once they're there, they do have ballistic missile capabilities. And I'm sure they have cruise missile capabilities on those diesel-powered submarines that they have. All right, so that is probably going to unfold in the next couple of days here. Let's talk about NATO, because Mark Rutte, who was the Prime Minister of the Netherlands, he is now NATO chief. And his first thing he did was, his first priority is he ran over to that country in Eastern Europe. Yeah, he said it's the top priority of the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, NATO. Top priority of NATO. Not defending the Baltic states. Nope, not that. Not the waves of people invading the countries in NATO from Africa as well as South America and everywhere else in the world. Not those things. No, the number one priority for NATO is sending more and more money that can be laundered to Eastern Europe so they can come back to the politicians in Western Europe as well as the United States. It's amazing. If you want to check it out, check out the net worth of AOC. Check the net worth of AOC now. Check the net worth of AOC before she got elected. And then you can see her salary very clearly, and you can do the math and see that only Common Core will make that math work. Just like Nancy Pelosi has gotten ridiculously rich. Same thing with the Bidens. They've gotten ridiculously rich. How? What salary did they have? What business did they own? What did they actually contribute to society? And the answer to that is, well, they knew stuff before it happened. And they paid those bribes, they paid those favors to the right people. And because of that, we see the Bidens have like 4 or 5 houses, beachfront houses. They have vacation houses. They have mansions here and there. It's amazing how they were able to buy all those things and just happen to get them at great deals. And it's just really remarkable how smart and clever all of our elected politicians really are. And we're not going to talk about any of the connections that he has to that country in Eastern Europe through his son or anyone else, right? All right, so that is the updates that I have out there for now. I thought that would be super important to get out to you right away. So we'll get this video posted up here in the next hour or so, so you can see that. Thanks so much for watching. If you want to check out another video from this channel, there's one right up there. I'll see you over there, or I'll see you guys later. Steve Poplar of the Poplar Report out.